Hey guys, Mike B. Rowland here. I wanted to talk today about a good pathway to, get into the trucking business as an owner operator. Story time, squirrel. But no, when I was young, when I bought my first truck, I was 23 years old, and I'd been driving, so I had had some experience, and I knew that's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know. There was so much I didn't know, but I kind of just trial by fire. I've never been afraid to try something new. And I took a risk. Hell, I was a newlywed. I'd only been married 2 weeks when I bought my first truck. The plan was my wife and I got married. And the plan was get married, pack up, move back home to Indiana, and buy a truck and start my business. And that's exactly what I did. But the way I got into it was my first truck it was a 1987 International 9370 flat top, no airbags, spring ride suspension, 280-inch wheelbase, had a 3406B model mechanical cat, 350 horsepower, 9-speed. Good old truck, had 1.2 million miles on it. I bought that truck for $10,000. I actually got really lucky. The guy that had the truck, the bank was getting ready to repossess it, and I called the bank because my family had done business with that bank. And I told him, hey, I heard you're going to have to repossess that truck. And he said, well, I can't talk about that. And I said, well, I know as well as you do that you don't want to repossess that truck. You're not going to be able to resell that truck, but I'm in the market to buy a truck, and if you do happen to need to refinance that truck, I'd be more than willing to take the key and finance that truck. And he said, I tell you what, you get your butt on a plane and get up here, and I'll sign that truck over to you tomorrow. And I bought my first truck with zero money down, just a signature, borrowed $10,000 from the bank. They didn't want to repossess that truck. They would have lost their tails. And they sold it to a new, young up-and-comer, and I got really lucky on that one. And there'll be all kinds of stories out there, guys. You get started, you watch this videos, and if you got a story you want to tell, put it in the comments, man. I enjoy reading them comments. Got any questions, about anything I'm talking about here? By all means, throw them in the comments. I'll answer any questions you can give me, unless they're stupid. Don't be stupid. Put a good question in there. Just playing. Yeah. But I bought that first truck, and I went to work for a company hauling scrap cardboard. Man, I thought I was just top of the heap. Woo, we are making big money. I didn't realize how bad I was getting screwed, man. I wasn't making any money. I thought I was, because I was making a lot more than I used to, but in the trucking industry, I was at the bottom of the barrel. I worked there about a year and a half. Ran with them for about a year and a half. And then my brother, and this is how a lot of guys find other companies, better companies, and they'll leave where they're at and go somewhere new. Is a buddy or a brother or someone they trust will tell them, hey man, you should look into this company over here where I'm at, dude. I'm doing great. I'm home real often. I'm home, every night. Well, my case, I was running all over the Midwest, and I was home. I might get home late Friday night and leave right back out Sunday afternoon, and I was gone all week long. And I never left like a 5-state region, but I was like this, all week long, just running my tail off, and thought I was just breaking the bank. But my brother's like, hey, you should come over here and look at this company. We're hauling groceries, just a glorified delivery boy, pulling the company trailers, reefers. They had 3-zone reefers, 3 different temperature zones. It's pretty cool trailer. But he's like, oh, I'm home every night, man. I'm making X number of dollars a week, and I'm home every night. And I have the same 2 days a week off set, And that just sounded like the cat's meow to me. And I made a beeline over to that company, and I went to work for them. I did that for 10 years, making quite a bit more money than I was making. And I slept in my bed at home. I was at home by dinner time, and then stayed the night at home and left out about 7:30 in the morning, and was back home by 5-6 o'clock at night. Easy. I absolutely love that job. To work for the company, they were getting worse and worse to work for. But as far as the schedule and the money, I was set. I figured I was going to retire there, And like I said, I did that about 10 years. And then ultimately, through other factors, I wound up switching over to pulling a tanker. And but the point is, I started out with that wore-out old International. I ran that for about a year and a half. When I switched over and started hauling those groceries, I saw what real money was. And that wasn't even looking at what that money was, what I consider real money, now I make almost triple that much. So I mean, there's all kinds of money out there. You just got to get into business and just follow the leads. You know, you just pay attention. The leads are out there, especially when you know someone, you're good friends with a lot of people. They need a good driver, and they know you're a good driver. They'll recommend you. You know, but I ran that truck until I started hauling groceries for about a year and a half. Never had to rebuild it, but she was getting to where I was starting to wonder about it. And when I started hauling groceries, making better money, I had a little bit of money saved up. Plus, I had that old truck that was paid for. You know, I only paid $10,000 for it. I paid that thing off in like 6 months, and just because I didn't want debt. You know, I like living a debt-free lifestyle. It's so much better to be debt-free. But I had that truck that I could trade in as a down payment, plus a couple thousand to put with it, and I went from an '87 International all the way up to a '97 Freightliner Classic Condo. Nice truck, 3406E, 13-speed, 355s. I mean, that truck was it was a nice truck, real nice truck. Compared to no cruise control, you know, that old '87, it had air conditioning. That's about the only comfort it had. that new Freightliner, though, that thing was, you know, that was a Cadillac to me at the time. You know, and I bought that truck for $26,000. Had like 500,000 miles on it. I bought it for $26,000. Time I was done trading in my truck, I think they gave me like $5,000 on trade-in, 6 maybe. Then I put a couple thousand with. I only had to finance like 11,000, something like that. Is that right? 6, 18, 20. I think I might have financed maybe 14 or 15,000, 14, something like that. But yeah, anyway, $14,000. I paid it off in a year. You know, I just running that truck and just bam, 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 paid her off in a year. I ran that truck for several years until, oh shoot, I don't even know. But the whole point of this story is, rather than just ramble on about my past, is I started out with a cheap old truck, just kept it running, kept piecing it together, fixing it, parting it, and then when each time I got a truck, I went to a nicer and a nicer and a nicer. You know, I upgraded. Because I knew in my head, when I'm running, as soon as I got this truck, hey, this is a great truck. As soon as I pay for this truck, I'm going to keep making those payments into the savings account, and that'll be my down payment for my next truck, and I'll get a really nice truck on my next one. But my plan was always to keep my trucks 3 or 4 years. You know, pay them off in a year, just over a year, and then run them for a couple of years, paid off, save up a ton of money, and then go get a really nice rig the next time. And that formula has worked for me for, you know, like I said, 25 years. Now, I mean, I don't even have to worry about it now. I just, when I'm ready to go get a truck, I just pick out what I want, go buy the truck, and then switch everything over from this truck to the new truck after I go through it and get it set up the way I want it. And then I take the old truck and take her home and get her all cleaned up and polished up and put it out in the yard with a for sale sign on it, you know. But it works really well. But it's just that's one way of many to get into it. A lot of guys want to go out and they want to buy these brand new fancy trucks, or, you know, maybe not brand new, but they're buying these high dollar trucks. And I just, not only would I not want to own any of those new trucks, I like my older trucks. They're much more reliable, much more cheaper, parts more readily available, mechanics more readily available. There's just many, many upsides to having an older truck. But yeah, I just wanted to do a quick video on that. It was just that was my path. That's how I got into it, and it worked really well. So, you know, you may want to try to emulate that and do your own thing. You want to make, you know, changes to it, upgrade it. You know, hey, each to his own. You know, you do you, boo. But yeah, anyway, just want to do a quick video and tell you about that. And any questions or comments, you know, anybody got any crazy stories of how they got into the industry, let's talk, man. Throw them in there. I'll read them up, and we'll got any good ones that would do like a back and forth conversation, you know. All right, guys, you be good. I'm gonna have to go get loaded here in just a minute, but we'll talk to you later.